It's on while we're at it. Lights, camera, action. Alrighty. Now to step two, we're going to bring up the book of the face, that Facebook. Bam. Bam. And they got now the delete works over here. And so we'll just go Bamaroo right there. And more light makes it easier to type. Islam show. You know, I might be going with evening, and usually I go with Sunday night. Okay. Well, when I come in, the sun's still up, although the days are getting... we're a month away from solstice. No, equinox, fall equinox. But the days are still longer than the nights. Okay. And when you include, pre-dawn and post-dawn, dusk periods, the 45 minutes or so at the beginning or the ending of daylight, well, it's still summer. And again, I'm putting up my name on the billboard. And we're going to start broadcasting now on Facebook. Bam. And let me get one camera angled over this direction, as well as... getting the microphones going. And so there's a camera going that way. And continuing. So we're now webcasting over Facebook and YouTube. And this time I'd like to share the weather with you from weather.gov, specifically over California. And the San Joaquin Valley is miserating under this grayness that, let's see, what do they call that? Air quality alert. Yeah, the whole valley's under an air quality alert. Why? Because the state's on fire. Oh boy. Oh my. And so all these forest fires are taking a toll on our air quality here in the San Joaquin Valley. The further down the valley you go, the worse it gets. So, but it's the entire West Valley. Looks to be San Joaquin, Stanislaus, more Madera County, Fresno, Kings, Tulare, and Western Kern. Okay, let's... the rest of the state is just, it's nice with some small craft warning north of San Francisco Bay and out beyond the Channel Islands from Point Arguello to San Clemente. Alrighty, let's see us. Come on down. Alrighty, as reported from Stockton Metropolitan Airport, as of 7 p.m. August 26th. It's fair weather with 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity at 39%. Wind is 10 miles per hour out of the northwest. Barometer is at 29.88 inches of mercury. Dew point is at 52 degrees. Visibility 10 miles. And this evening looks to be clear with a low of looks to be 58. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 86. Monday night, clear with a low of 59. Tuesday, 2 days from now, sunny with a high of 85. Tuesday night, mostly clear. We've had a full moon last night. It was beautiful. It's going to be waning soon, so enjoy the full moon. Tuesday night it'll be lowing out about 60 degrees. Wednesday, sunny, a high of 84. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low of looks to be 59. Thursday, sunny with a high of 83, and Thursday night, mostly clear with a low of 58. Alrighty, that has been the weather here at the Voice of Stockton. And we're going to head on down to... All right. Let me get things really squared away and rocking here before we proceed. We've had weather and a few announcements, and continuing, we are a community radio station, and that means it can include you as a sponsor. Hey, give us a call, 467-4455 during business hours. We love local businesses. Grocery stores, liquor stores, law firms, CPAs, insurance firms. If you're a set of doctors, if you're a nonprofit, and we'd love to have you as a sponsor. We talk you up, and I know that means support and of a financial nature, but your good name is put out there, thus to increase business to you, and in order that your good industry is put to good use. And so, that's what we're about. The industry of people is critical to all of us, and we're community radio. We like to think we're industrious here as well. So let's get started with the show this evening, and that means we got about 7:29 p.m. Looks to be close to 7:30. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rich. Wait a minute. I don't want to do this. This is not going well. I did not put a banner up. But we will continue. I am Richard Slezak, and this is the Sunday Evening Islam Show, and I'm the audition is functioning, but it's a little bit different than has been the case in previous weeks. With that, we go forth, and we are web radio, soon to be broadcast radio, to be low power FM community radio with sponsors. Let me show you our sponsors. There's more than these, but these are what I know of, and so we're going to go forth with these this evening on this evening's show. And this is the Sunday Evening Islam Show, a University of the Air style of radio. And our sponsors are Hotel Furniture Liquidators over at 1648 North Shaw Road, nearest cross street. It is East Fremont, just east of 99. Get furniture for your home, for your family, for your friends. Books can be had at the Miracle Mile Bookstore, 2210 Pacific Avenue, and Doors Book Recyclery, 2310 Pacific Avenue. Plastics you bag, plus signage, graphics, they do it. Yes, they do. Custom plastics and signs, 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. Here in Stockton, plastic fabricating. They'll produce displays for you. The materials we all love, plastic sheets, rods, and tubes. Signage, stencils, vehicle and boat graphics. They'll print up T-shirts and business cards for you. That's custom plastics and signs. Computer repair, both parts and software is done by Millennium Computer Repair. Give them a call, 209-922-1879. They'll do software and hardware repairs, spyware removal, performance enhancement. That's 209-922-1879 for Millennium Computer Repair. Habitat for Humanity Restore, where you can buy building materials, building supplies, furniture, electrical apparatus for buildings, as well as HVAC. Stuff comes in from all directions, and good deals can be had. 4833 West Lane, 100 yards south of March Lane, 4933 West Lane. That's the Restore Habitat for Humanity. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily. Open at 4:30 Monday through Saturday, 5:30 on Sundays till 6 p.m. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily. 1304 East Hammer Lane, Suite 15. Leaders T-shirt printing up in Lodi, 500 East Lodi Avenue at Garfield. Business cards and T-shirts. Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Let's get on into it. Hey, we're going to go to the N.J. Dawood. 1956 English is used, British English, translated from the original Arabic, and he was a scholar, and so it's a pretty good translation. He doesn't break it up into verses, so it has and he was working towards good flow and full meaning. So, but it's a good translation. I'm going to share it with you, and it's the prophet titled it his own name on it. Oh boy! By the way, I am a Christian. I do not consider Muhammad a prophet. I do this to educate myself and the public. Yes, John and Jane Q. Public, the most important members of society. Once we have better understanding of people, hey, we can go forth better together. Let's make it a better nation with understanding of one another, and that is the principle on which this stands, because people do have religions, and I'm glad that they do. It gives them understanding of one another, and they just end up being happier. Here we go. Over here at my computer, I did get the thing going earlier on, but right now it's kind of in its rest state. So gonna need a minute to bring it up. And there's a nice gondola, but it's from Venice. I work over at, I can say it. I work at Cutter Lumber, and we're right next to the tracks. And the gondolas I see have like coils of steel in them. Lots of them. And weigh tons. Yo, I don't need new tab. Bam. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Last night I was doing yesterday I was doing some map reading. And with that, let us get started. Well, there's one more thing I'd like to do here. And, oh, what the heck? Okay. Bam. And I got a few things here on the file. Whoop, whoop. Oh, wait a minute. There is my Sahih al-Bukhari. Light that one up. And we're going to open it up since it's a PDF that I got, and you can too, apparently, from thehouseofislam.org. And it's full on. It's got the whole thing. It says 1,706 pages. Translator M. Muhsin Khan. And the Sahih Bukhari is a collection of sayings and deeds of Muhammad ibn Abdullah, also known as the Sunnah. The reports of the Prophet's sayings and deeds are called ahadith. Bukhari lived a couple of centuries after the Prophet's death and worked extremely hard to collect his ahadith. Each report in his collection was checked for compatibility with the Quran, and the veracity of the chain of reporters had to be painstakingly established. It's recognized by the overwhelming majority of Muslims, the Muslim world, as one of the most authentic collections of the Sunnah of Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Now, he lived 194 years, actually 192, 180 years after Muhammad. He lived 76 years. He collected up like 509,000 sayings, and 9,000 made it through his milling of them. That is his, it had to pass standards. So, boy. Now, some of that, so to speak, fell on the editor's floor, went on to be picked up by others because it was considered reliable after all. Okay, with that, we're going to be, I'm just introducing you to what we're going to be doing later. First off, since we've been working Surah 47, let's get to it. And again, this is it's Penguin reprint, or printing, circa 1970. So this is about a 50-year-old book in its own right. And the translation was published the year after I was born. Now, they got an opening. Muhammad, in the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, Allah will bring to nothing the deeds of those who disbelieve and debate others from his path. As for the faithful who do good works and believe in what is revealed to Muhammad, which is the truth from their Lord, he will forgive them their sins and ennoble their state. This because the unbelievers follow falsehood, while the faithful follow the truth from their Lord, that Allah coins their sayings for mankind. When you meet the unbelievers in the battlefield, strike off their heads, and when you have laid them low, bind your captives firmly, then grant them their freedom or take ransom from them until war shall lay down her armor. Thus shall you do. Had Allah willed, he could himself have punished them, but he has ordained it thus that he might test you, that one by the other. As for those who are slain in the cause of Allah, he will not allow their words to perish. He will vouchsafe them their guidance and ennoble their state. He will admit them to the paradise
he has made known to them. Believers, if you help Allah, Allah will help you and make you strong. But the unbelievers shall be consigned to perdition. He will bring their deeds to nothing because they have opposed his revelation. He will frustrate their works. Have they never journeyed through the land and seen what was the end of those who have gone before them? Allah destroyed them utterly. A similar fate awaits the unbelievers because Allah is the protector of the faithful, because the unbelievers have no protector. Allah will admit those who embrace the true faith and do good works to gardens watered by running streams. The unbelievers raise their fill of pleasure and eat as the beasts eat, but hell shall be their home. How many cities were mightier than your own city, which has cast you out? We destroyed them all, and there was none to help them. Can he who follows the guidance of his Lord be compared to him who is led by his appetite and whose foul deeds seem fair to him? This is the paradise which the righteous have been promised. There shall flow in it even of unpolluted water and rivers of milk forever freely, rivers of delectable wine and rivers of clearest honey. They shall eat therein of every fruit and receive forgiveness from their Lord. Is this like the lot of those who shall abide in hell forever and drink scalding water, which will tear their bowels? Some of them indeed listen to you, but no sooner do they leave your presence than they ask those whom knowledge has been given, "What did he say just now?" Such are the men whose hearts are sealed by Allah and who follow their base desires. As for those who follow the right path, Allah will increase their guidance and teach them to guard themselves against evil. Are they waiting for the house of doom to overtake them unawares? Its portents have already come, but how will they be warned when it overtakes them? Know that there is no God but Allah. Implore him to forgive your sins and to forgive the true believers, men and women. Allah knows your busy haunts and meeting places. The faithful say, if only a chapter were revealed. But when a forthright chapter is revealed, and war is mentioned in it, you see the infirm of heart looking towards you as though they were fainting away for fear of death. Yet obedience and courteous speech will become them more. Indeed, should war be decided upon, it would be better for them to be true to Allah. If you renounce the faith, you would surely do evil in the land and violate the ties of blood. Such are those on whom Allah has laid his curse, leaving them bereft of sight and hearing. Will they not ponder on the Quran? Are there locks upon their hearts? Those who return to unbelief after Allah's guidance has been revealed to them are seduced by Satan and inspired by him. That is because they are to those who abhor the word of Allah, We shall obey you in some matters. Allah knows their secret talk. What will they do when the angels carry away their souls and strike them on their heads and backs? That is because they follow what has incurred the wrath of Allah and abhor what pleases him. He will surely bring their works to nothing. Do the feeble-hearted think that Allah will not reveal their malice? If we pleased, we could point them out to you, and you would recognize them promptly by their looks. But you will surely know them from the tenor of their words. Allah has knowledge of all your actions. We shall put you to the proof until we know the valiant and the resolute amongst you, and test all that is said about you. The unbelievers who debar others from the path of Allah and disobey the apostle after they have seen the light shall in no way harm Allah. He will bring their words to nothing. Believers obey Allah and his apostle, and never let your labor go in vain. Those that disbelieve and debar others from Allah's path, and in the end die unbelievers, shall not be shown forgiveness by Allah. Therefore, do not falter or sue for peace when you have gained the upper hand. Allah is on your side and will not grudge you the reward of your labors. The life of this world is but a sport and a pastime. Allah will reward you if you believe in him and guard yourselves against evil. He does not ask for all your wealth. If he demanded all and strongly pressed you, you would give niggardly and thus would show your ill feelings. You are called upon to give in the cause of Allah. Some of you are ungenerous, and whoever is ungenerous to this cause is ungenerous to himself indeed. Allah does not need you, but you need him. If you give no heed, he will replace you by others different from you. This has been Surah 47 from the N.J. Dawood 1956 translation. And it is 7:49 here at the Voice of Stockton. Do a little updating here. And we did our sponsors. 7:29 was show start. Let me go over here and do some looking at the computers to make sure that everything is going okay. Seems Edward's gone home. And let me check. Okay, everything looks to be working there. And checking the radio GJ. Come on up. Okay, I got what, 7:49. Yeah, things are going fine at 7:49. Get a little action going out there. And make some entries in here. YouTube, Facebook. Announcements. Weather. Alrightius. Things that we do here at the radio station. Alrightius. Continuing. Now we're going to go to Book 30 of the Bukhari Hadith Sunnah. And for that I need both hands. And I don't want my legs to go to sleep. So I'll probably be getting up and down. And okay, again, it's Book 30, and that was just a Book 9. Book 12. Volume 2. Still Volume 2. Book 22. Continuing to scroll. Book 23, Funerals. Oh, that's got some interesting stuff in it. Whoops. Book 26. Oh, okay. Ooh. I'm scrolling up through Book 30. I don't want to scroll so far back I miss it. Oh, there it is. Virtues of Medina. Yeah, that's why I wanted to save it for this time frame. Yep, we're in 624, 625, and looks like we got 753. HS. And what page are we on by chance? That'd be a good thing to reference. 426 of 1700. And that is Book 30. And that's the virtues of, and it's spelled here Madinah. And again, I like to put a little reminder here. And so we're going to get started, and we're at number 91. And this is volume 3. So this is narrated by Anas. The Prophet said, Medina is a sanctuary from that place to that. Its trees should not be cut, and no heresy should be innovated, nor any sin should be committed in it, and whoever innovates in it an heresy, or commits sins, that is, bad deeds, then he will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. Number 92, narrated Anas, the Prophet came to Medina and ordered a mosque to be built and said, O Bani Najjar, suggest to me the price of your land. They said, we do not want its price except from Allah. In other words, they wished for a reward from Allah for giving up their land freely. And let me do a camera adjustment here. That one's kind of silly angled. And that one, yeah, a little bit better. Okay. And boom. So, yeah, continuing. They wished for a reward from Allah for giving up their land freely. So the Prophet ordered the graves of the pagans to be dug out and the land to be leveled. You know, not everybody there was a Muslim at that time. Ooh-wee. I guess, you know, roads usually go around cemeteries, not always. Down Oxnard, Taco Bell was constructed either on a Chinese or a Japanese cemetery. Right at, where was it? Ventura Road at Pleasant Valley. So I grew up down there, and pleasant little things like that happened. Oh, California, you ain't pure and good. Oh, you're better. You're better than a lot of places, but you ain't pure good. The prophet ordered the graves of the pagans to be dug out and the land to be leveled and the date palm trees to be cut down. The cut date palms were fixed in the direction of the Qibla of the mosque. Number 93, pardon my interruptions. Narrated Abu Huraira, the prophet said, I've made Medina a sanctuary. Its two Harat mountains, those are the two Harat, or the two mountains. The prophet went to the tribe of Bani Haritha and said to them, I see that you have gone out of the sanctuary, but looking around, he added, no, you are inside the sanctuary. Number 94, narrated Ali, we have nothing except the book of Allah, and this written paper from the prophet, wherein is written, Medina is a sanctuary from the air mountain to such and such a place, and whoever innovates in it on heresy or commits a sin or gives shelter to such an innovator in it will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. None of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted, and the asylum of protection granted by any Muslim is to be secured, that is, respected by all other Muslims, and whoever betrays a Muslim in this respect incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all peoples, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted, and whoever freed slave, that is, befriends, take as masters other than his manumitters, without their permission, incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted. Ooh. Wow. All people, none of his compulsory, and whoever, that is, a freed slave, befriends, takes as a master. Wow. So in the case of the African Muslims who were brought to the New World, they didn't have a free choice in the matter. So, you know, they were not in that, they were captured. They were, you know, either it was a form of kidnapping or capture in battle. 95. Narrated Abu Huraira, Allah's apostle, I was ordered to migrate to a town which will conquer other towns, and it is called Yathrib, and that is Medina, and it turns out, in parentheses, bad persons as a furnace removes the impurities of iron. Number 96, narrated Abu Humayd, that's a new name. We came with the prophet from Tabuk, and when we reached near Medina, the prophet said, this is Tabah. Number 97, narrated Abu Huraira, If I saw deer grazing in Medina, I would not chase them, for Allah's apostle said Medina is a sanctuary between its two mountains. It is 8 p.m. You are webtuned to the voiceofstockton.org, KXVS to be, that is low power FM, for community radio for Stockton, California. I am Richard Slezak. This is the Sunday Night Islam Show. And continuing, Surah 98, Sunnah 98 of Book 30, the Hadith Sunnah collection of Al-Sahih Bukhari. Narrated Abu Huraira, I heard Allah's apostle saying, the people will leave Medina in spite of the best state it will have, and none except the wild birds and the beasts of prey will live in it. And the last persons who will die will be two shepherds from the tribe of Muzena, who will be driving their sheep towards Medina, but will find nobody in it, and when they reach the valley of Thaniyat al-Wada, they will fall down on their faces dead. Number 99, we started at 91, there's 23 in this, in Book 30. Narrated Abu Zuhair, I heard Allah's apostle saying, Yemen will be conquered, and some people will migrate from Medina, and will urge their families and those who will obey them to migrate to Yemen, although Medina will be better for them, if they but knew. Sham will also be conquered, and some people will migrate from Medina, and will urge their families and those who will obey them to migrate to Sham, although Medina will be better for them if they but knew. Iraq will be conquered, and some people will migrate from Medina and will urge their families and those who will obey them to migrate to Iraq, although Medina will be better for them if they but knew. Folks, the prophet there, some would argue, made a prophecy, and it came true. Because Sham is Syria, and Iraq, well, it's Iraq. Because that was narrated by Abu Zuhair. That was within Muhammad's lifetime. There was no, yeah. Some would say he was confident, and I'm getting tied up. I don't like bondage. I ain't no bondage fan. All righty. Now let's do a time check. Got 8:04, and we're at HS 100. Alrighty, narrated Abu Huraira, Allah's apostle said, verily, belief returns and goes back to Medina as a snake returns and goes back to its hole, parentheses, when in danger. Number 101, narrated Saad, I heard the Prophet saying, none plots against the people of Medina, but that he will be dissolved, that is, destroyed, like the salt is dissolved in water. Number 102, narrated Usama. Once the Prophet stood at the top of a, in parentheses, looked out from upon one, continuing, castle amongst the castles, or the high buildings of Medina, and said, do you see what I see? No doubt, I see the spots where afflictions will take place among your houses, and those afflictions will be as numerous as the spots where raindrops fall. Number 103. Narrated, that's also a prophecy, but there might have been some pestilences that came through. There probably were. It was the 600s when he said it. Abu Bakr, the prophet said, the terror caused by al-Masih ad-Dajjal will not enter Medina, and at that time Medina will have 7 gates, and there will be 2 angels at each gate guarding them. And that's one of a very negative being. That's like an antichrist at the end times. Number 104, Abu Huraira narrates, Allah's apostle, there are angels guarding the entrance or roads of Medina. Neither plague nor ad-Dajjal will be able to enter it. Yeah. Whoops. That was a hope for. Number 105, narrated Anas bin Malik, the prophet said, there will be no town which ad-Dajjal will not enter except Mecca and Medina, and there will be no entrance road of both Mecca and Medina, but the angels will be standing in rows guarding against him, and then Medina will shake with its inhabitants thrice. In other words, 3 earthquakes will take place, and Allah will expel all the non-believers and the hypocrites from it. I don't know. Well, hey, he predicted. Now there's ad-Dajjal, not able to enter Mecca or Medina. The non-believers and the hypocrites, there were no reported earthquakes, although they're not that far away from a tectonic plate boundary, which is the Gulf of Aqaba. Hijaz is the province right next to them, but they're about 600 miles, although it goes down the Red Sea. So actually, they're about 200 to 400 miles away. So, yeah, that's enough for earthquakes to be shaking them. But none reported. That doesn't mean they didn't happen. But they would have had to have the earthquakes by basically 625, 626, because the Jews were either expelled or put to death. And the pagans were getting kind of fallen in line at that time. So number 106, narrated Abu Said al-Khudri, Allah's apostle, told us a long narrative about ad-Dajjal, and among the many things he mentioned was his saying, ad-Dajjal will come, and it will be forbidden for him to pass through the entrances of Medina. He will land in some of the salty barren areas outside Medina. On that day, the best man or one of the best men will come up to him and say, I testify that you are the same Dajjal whose description was given to us by Allah's apostle. Ad-Dajjal will say to the people, if I kill this man and bring him back to life again, will you doubt my claim? They will say no. Then ad-Dajjal will kill that man and bring him back to life. That man will say, now I know your reality better than before. Ad-Dajjal will say, I want to kill him, but I cannot. All right, he seems to be a bit contradictory. And number 107, narrated Jabir, a Bedouin came to the Prophet and gave a pledge of allegiance for embracing Islam. The next day he came with fever and said to the Prophet, please cancel my pledge of embracing Islam and of emigrating to Medina. The Prophet refused that request 3 times and said, Medina is like a furnace. It expels out the impurities, bad persons and selects the good ones and makes them perfect. Number 108, narrated Zayn bin Thabit. When the Prophet went out for the battle of Uhud, that was in 625, some of his companions, hypocrites, returned home. A party of the believers remarked that they would kill those hypocrites who had returned, but another party said that they would not kill them. So this divine inspiration was revealed. Then, what is the matter with you, that you are divided into two parties concerning the hypocrites? The Prophet said, Medina expels the bad persons from it as fire expels the impurities of iron. Most interesting. Okay, let's mark the time, 8:11 p.m. Okay, this is number 108. References, Battle of Uhud, hypocrite deserters, and Surah 4, and that is verse 88. Most interesting, because I think most of Surah 4 came later. All right. Continuing to march. 109, narrated Anas, the Prophet said, O Allah, bestow on Medina twice the blessings you bestowed on Mecca. Number 110, narrated Anas, whenever the Prophet returned from a journey and observed the walls of Medina, he would make his mount go fast, and if he was on an animal, in other words a horse, he would make it gallop because of his love for Medina. Number 111, narrated Anas, the people of Bani Salama intended to shift near the mosque of the Prophet, but Allah's apostle disliked to see Medina vacated and said, O people of Bani Salama, don't you think that you will be rewarded for your footsteps which you take towards the mosques, though they stayed at their old places? Number 112, Abu Huraira narrates, the Prophet said, there is a garden from the gardens of paradise between my house and my pulpit is on my lake fount, that is Al-Kathar, which is a heavenly kind of place. We got 8:13 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton, and we're going to do number 113, Book 30, Volume Theory, narrated Aisha. When Allah's apostle reached Medina, Abu Bakr and Bilal became ill. When Abu Bakr's fever got worse, he would recite this poetic verse, everybody is staying alive with his people, yet death is nearer to him than his shoe laces. And Bilal, when his fever deserted him, would recite, would that I could stay overnight in a valley wherein I would be surrounded by ikhir and jalil, kinds of good-smelling grass. Would that one day I could drink the water of the Mahana, and would that the two mountains, Shama and Tafil, would appear to me. The Prophet said, O Allah, curse Sheba ben Rabia and Utbah ben Rabia and Umayyah ben Katlaf, as they turned us out of our land to the land of epidemics. Allah's apostle then said, O Allah, make us love Medina as we love Mecca, or even more than that. O Allah, give blessings to our saw and our mud, measures symbolizing food, and make the climate of Medina suitable for us, and divert its fever towards Al-Huhafa. Aisha added, when we reached Medina, it was the most unhealthy of Allah's lands, and the valley of Bathan, the valley of Medina, used to flow with impure colored water. Woo-wee. Number 114, narrated Zayn bin Aslam from his father. Umar said, O Allah, grant me martyrdom in your cause, and let my death be in the city of your apostle. And that's it. And we have 8:16 p.m. That what was number 114 read. All righty, folks. And so what do we have coming up? Because that went a little quicker than I thought. And we do keep track. And let me look at the tracker planner. That is, I like to write it out on scratch paper. And what we have coming up next is Surah 3, but it is 200 verses long. So, oh my. So I want to read four surahs in a row. Yeah, 3, 61, 37, and 4. Yeah, so 4 is going to be, we just referenced 4, and so 4 will be coming up before we go to come back to the Bukhari Hadith Sunnah, because I have a whole lot more surahs to go through than Bukhari books to go through left as we go through the Medinan surahs. So again, we're going to be going, and let's well, since we're open here and we don't have a lot of time left in this evening's show, 8:17, we only got about 12 minutes left. Let's go, well, let's take a preview of both. First, I didn't bring my Quran with all the footnotes, the 1991 edition, but we can look into Surah 3 and see. Now, Dawood put these in an order of importance as far as he was concerned, and really getting out the complete message. And so I am scanning down, and oh my, this is towards the back of his book. And yeah, so on page 376, and it is the table. So let us go to page 376. And check it out. Yep, the table. Believers, be true to your obligations. It is lawful for you to eat the flesh of all beasts, other than that which is hereby announced to you. Game is forbidden while you are on pilgrimage. Allah decrees what he will. Believers, do not violate the rights of Allah, or the sacred month, or the offerings, or their ornaments, or those that repair to the sacred house seeking Allah's grace and pleasure. Once your pilgrimage is ended, you shall be free to go hunting. Do not allow your hatred for those who would debar you from the holy mosque to lead you into sin. Help one another in what is good and pious, and not what is wicked and sinful. Have fear of Allah, for He is stern in retribution. You are forbidden the flesh of animals that die a natural death, blood and pig's meat. Also any flesh dedicated to any other than Allah. You are forbidden the flesh of strangled animals, and those beaten or gored to death of those killed by a fall or mangled by beasts of prey, unless you make it clean by giving the death strike yourselves. Also of animals sacrificed to idols. You are forbidden to settle disputes by consulting arrows. That is a vicious practice. The unbelievers have this day abandoned all hope of vanquishing your religion. Have no fear of them, fear me. This day I have perfected your religion for you and completed my favor to you. I have chosen Islam to be your faith. He that is constrained by hunger to eat of what is forbidden, not intending to commit sin, will find Allah forgiving and merciful. They ask you what is lawful to them. Say, all things are lawful to you, as well as that which you have taught the birds and the beasts of prey to catch, training them as Allah has taught you. Eat of what they catch for you, pronouncing upon it the name of Allah, and have fear of Allah, swift as Allah's reckonings. All good things have this day been made lawful to you. The food of those to whom the scriptures were given is lawful to you, and yours to them. Lawful to you are the believing women and the free women from among those who were given scriptures before you, provided that you give them their dowries and live and honor with them, neither committing fornication nor taking them as mistresses. He that denies the faith shall gain nothing from his labors. In the world to come he shall have much to lose. Alrighty, we have 8:23 p.m., so I'll leave you with that from the table, which we'll be getting to next show completely. And again, we got 8:23, and I'll give you a few minutes up on this. We're going to, the next book is book 49. See, we just did book 30. Oh, book 51 went a little too far. Book 34. Book 39. Book 47. Oh my. Ooh, there's a long one. God, it's like 3 pages. Book 50. Oh my. Just seeking it out here. Oh, wait a minute. That's a good thing to do. Wait a minute. Here's this super long, Daddy. 3 pages. Book 48. Wow. Oh, man. That'll take a whole show to read. Now, 48's a... I don't want to miss anything. We're oh, okay. Book 49 starts on 6/14. And and it's on peacemaking. And I don't have right in front of me right now just how many hadiths there are in this, so here's number 855, kind of a preview. Narrated Sahl bin Sa'd. There was a dispute amongst the people of the tribes of Bani Amr bin Auf. The Prophet went to them along with some of his companions in order to make peace between them. The time for the prayer had became due, but the Prophet did not turn up. Bilal announced the adhan, the call, for the prayer, but the Prophet did not turn up. So Bilal went to Abu Bakr and said, the time for the prayer is due and the Prophet is detained. Would you lead the people in prayer? Abu Bakr replied, yes, yes, you wish. So Bilal pronounced the iqamah of the prayer, and Abu Bakr went ahead to lead the prayer. But the Prophet came walking among the rows till he joined the first row. The people started clapping, and they clapped too much, and Abu Bakr used not to look hither and thither in the prayer, but he turned around and saw the Prophet standing behind him. The Prophet beckoned him with his hand to keep on praying where he was. Abu Bakr raised his hand and praised Allah, and then retreated till he came in the first row, and the Prophet went ahead and led the people in prayer. When the Prophet finished the prayer, he turned towards the people and said, O people, when something happens to you during the prayer, you start clapping. Really, clapping is permissible for women only. If something happens to one of you in his prayer, he should say, Subhanallah, glorified be Allah. For whoever bears him saying so will direct his attention towards him. O Abu Bakr, what prevented you from leading the people in the prayer when I beckoned you to continue? Abu Bakr replied, I did not befit the son of Abu Kuhafa to lead the prayer in front of the Prophet. And we got 6:28 p.m., so there's a preview, if you will, of the next book we'll be doing, that is on peacemaking. And this has been the Islam show for August 26th, and boy, oh boy, we got a lot done. Yeah, we heard the N.J. Dawood translation of Surah 47, and the Mishan Khan translation of Book 30, all the virtues of Medina, all 23 Hadith Sunnah for you, and for in order that you have better understanding of Islam. So with that, thank you for tuning in, and if you hear this on the replay, thank you for taking in the show. And with that, we'll just put on the old stop button, and I hope I can record this up or put a label on it. Bam. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to return you to the regular programming. First, let's take off the YouTube. Uh-oh. Well, there's something up there. Bam. And I believe all we have to do is click off on this. So goodbye. Good evening to